Go.
Fuck you. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Quirky Bootless Project, baby.
And we're together.
We are sitting next to each other. I'm feeling
the
him
first
up.
time.
I'm feeling him up as we're
Stop
talking.
talking.
Okay. So today we're back with another.
Stop screaming.
The mic is right next to me. I can't help it. Okay. So we're
Go on.
Don't wave at me. So we're basically
We're gonna talk about Marvel. Okay, we're gonna talk about Marvel. I'm excited.
Adi 15 seconds ago. Nikhil, you take the intro. You're good at this. Adi now. You're excited about
that.
this. No, you're not gonna.
Yeah,
cut this.
my ego matters.
You're not gonna cut this. Shut the fuck up. I need people to know that you're wrong. Maybe bleep out me swearing though. Okay, yes, go.
So
If you're that excited.
we're gonna talk about Marvel.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about this
Again.
is sort of an update to the first episode that we ever made on the Quirky Bootless Project, right?
Time flies.
It does
2
fly.
months, 2 months.
It does fly, and our inconsistent uploads also fly.
To be fair, we only missed 1 week in like the last. How long has we have been?
No, we
doing this
missed
for?
3 weeks one day.
Shut
one
up.
day. Yeah.
No, we did really.
Anyways, we're here to talk about Thor: Love and Thunder
Jesus Christ.
and She-Hulk basically because there's only 2 new releases and they, as people say, sorta suck.
They do suck.
They kind of suck.
So a bit of context before we go in. I've only watched Thor: Love and Thunder. I didn't bother to put myself through She-Hulk, but Adi has, and
I am a devoted Marvel.
he enjoys
fan.
that Daredevil was there, and he did She-Hulk.
Everyone loves that Daredevil was there.
Did everyone?
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Did everyone enjoy him doing She-Hulk?
Arjun did. Bleep.
Arjun's really weird. Okay, yeah, no, but like I haven't watched She-Hulk because the reviews are awful, and I've just given up on Marvel.
He watches movies and shows based on the reviews. That's
No.
how stupid
Yeah,
he is.
obviously, everyone.
Yeah.
No, everyone,
IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes.
everyone
That is
based-
all he bases his opinion
No,
on.
I really don't. If it's
You do.
No, I base it based on hype, and there was no hype for She-Hulk. Everything online I had read from
The
Twitter-
hype was insane,
On-
actually. No,
no.
the hype was insane
for
after it released.
negative attention is not the same as good attention.
No.
Right?
At the start, there was a lot of hype, but then after it released, then the sort of negative.
Okay, so I never, unless it's something I'm properly hyped for because of a character or an actor that's in it, I never watch a show based on my own like decision. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool, this is releasing, I'll watch it. I base it
And
based-
also Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. That's how.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a factor. I base it based on what I see what people think about it. I know.
Well, experts.
I know, no, not necessarily expert. I know people with a similar sense of humor as me. I know people who have a
Me
not you. Me and Adi disagree about.
and Arjun.
Arjun, no. Me and Adi have disagreed about literally every movie and
We're like
every
best
show
friends,
ever.
bro.
Yeah, but your taste in shows and movies is absolute ass. So, yeah. So basically, I guess we're gonna talk about Thor and Love and Thunder first, and then move on to She-Hulk, where Adi
That's
will.
chronologically how it came out. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
assume so.
Okay, sure. So yeah, okay, that worked out then. And Adi is gonna talk about She-Hulk a lot more than I am. I have seen a few clips from She-Hulk, and I was utterly disappointed by it all. But Thor: Love and Thunder I found was just an immature. Okay, so I like to compare Thor: Love and Thunder to another Thor movie that worked based on its comedy and actually produced
Which one?
one of my actually favorite Marvel movies, which is saying something because Marvel before phase whatever
Phase 3 is going to go.
until after Endgame, before Endgame, Marvel
Infinity
was,
Saga. God damn it, Nick, you're such a
why
fake
do you
fan.
know all the
Nick,
names, you
you're such
nerd?
a fake
Oh my
fan.
god, you
You're a
virgin. Okay,
fake
anyway,
fan.
so we're all virgins here. So, yeah. Shut up. So, Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok was a movie that I thought was very good, and it actually used its comedy to.
But it barely had comedy though, right?
It was entirely comedy. What the hell are you talking about? It
No,
was a
I
comedy
mean,
movie.
Alright, alright.
Do you not remember Thor: Love and Thunder? It's the one
No,
with Sorta
Thor.
and Hela.
You're talking about Thor Ragnarok, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said.
That was entirely
Right.
comedy.
It was comedy.
And it worked.
Yeah, okay. I would say that it was still more on the serious side.
What?
It was more on the serious side than Love and Thunder.
It No, Love and Thunder was a farce.
Love and Thunder was a joke.
No, yeah, exactly. No, fine. Okay, so comparing anything to Love and Thunder would be more serious, right? The issue is with Love and Thunder, they sacrificed plot points to move
Okay.
along immature comedy. When it came to Ragnarok, I think they let the comedy and the everything else just breathe a little bit. So I think the best part of Thor Ragnarok was like the entire story with Hela.
They also balanced. They really balanced
Exactly.
out
They
comedy
balanced
and plot.
So actually I think a great example of that is the initial scene where Thor returns to Asgard and he sees Odin, and I'm putting air quotes here for people who, oh no, this is a podcast, no one can see us anyways. So I'm putting air quotes for people who in general, and because it wasn't Odin,
It was Loki.
It was Loki watching a fictitious retelling from his own eyes of how he sees himself as a narcissistic kind of asshole, but everyone
That was
loves-
almost poetic, man.
everyone almost, and then I screwed up on the last word. God damn it.
Anyways, the point he's trying to make is that the plot kind of sucked.
Yeah, the plot of Love and Thunder kind of sucked,
They
and because they
sacrificed
sacrificed good storytelling for comedy, I think the villain had a lot of potential. I think I like Christian Bale. It was Christian Bale who played him.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I like Christian Bale.
Okay.
I like Christian Bale. I liked his. I mean, it was kind of a generic motive, but at least it was fine. A god killed his daughter, so he's getting revenge by killing gods. We only saw him kill one god on screen, which was annoying. But
Well.
yeah, but when it came to sorry, I'm just going back to this. Thor Ragnarok, they actually let the character building a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, no.
Yeah, so they allowed for characters to be themselves, to build instead of just sacrificing.
They also killed off a lot of people in Thor Ragnarok. That was
Yeah.
kind of annoying.
Oh no, they got rid of all the dead weight that was on the Thor franchise.
Well, dead weight.
Adi,
was
if
sort of-
if I held a gun to your head right now and asked you to name Thor's friends, the ones that Hela killed when she immediately came to Asgard,
But
if with a
still-
gun, you would not be able to tell me any of their names. Lady Sif was not there; she does not count. Anyone
Still,
else?
doesn't
Anyone
it
else.
doesn't matter.
No, so they trimmed all the dead weight off of it, and so when
That's because they did that in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah,
Otherwise you would remember them.
I'm saying that was a good thing, but when
it was maybe a good thing.
it was of course a good thing. See, Jane, which by the way, who returned in Thor: Love and Thunder, and was,
Which was disappointing.
arguably the worst part of that movie.
Agreed.
Yeah. So
Over agreed.
her and which is extremely rare if you actually know us. We don't agree about anything when it comes to shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jane, her entire in the comics, I haven't seen. I haven't really seen, but I know the retelling of it where she gets cancer and that caused her to go to Asgard.
You haven't
and
seen
find
the
cure.
movie?
I haven't seen the comic.
Oh.
I haven't read the comic.
Okay.
But I think they completely beefed that up. But I mean, see, what do you think? I think when it comes to comparing Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, what do you think?
Okay. Everyone loved Ragnarok.
Yeah,
That was like a hit.
excellent movie.
That was the first movie I saw, and that got me hooked into
First
the
movie
whole.
from what, Thor or Marvel?
No, Marvel in general.
Really?
Yeah.
That
That
was
was
the
that was
first-
that was my first movie. I was
You
late.
watched that before Infinity War and Avengers and Endgame?
Dude, Thor Ragnarok was in theaters. That's where I watched it.
No. But did you not watch a single Marvel movie before that?
Thor Ragnarok came before.
I did. Okay, fine. But like Avengers.
No, I didn't. I
Wow.
had no idea. Yeah, that was my first movie,
Oh.
and I was hooked.
Wow.
It was-
Okay.
Yeah, it
Did
was.
not know that.
Well, and now I'm a huge nerd. So
That was true. Before. You just doubled.
No,
nerd.
no, in
You
the
just
Marvel
You
lore.
doubled nerd with Marvel powers.
yeah, that. Basically, the plot sucked. Okay, the plot was bad. They did not do a correct the comics. They referred to the comics. That's cool and all.
Yeah.
I don't think they needed to.
Yeah.
Come on.
They could have told their own story with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ideas they had.
Yeah, they're
No, but like, what specific part of the movie did you not like? Because I think there were a bunch of it that they completely dropped the ball on.
First of all, it was as Nikhil said, a joke. It was very.
Yeah.
It was very like they did not
It was fast.
give importance to some characters that should have been really important in the movie.
Yeah.
And like even the power levels, they're insane. Like you can't just kill Zeus or you can't just like what, stab him? Like, what did they do?
Yeah, no, that entire scene was just
Yeah, and
him snapping too hard.
Exactly.
You flick too hard, you idiot. I hate it.
exactly. What did Disney do?
Yeah, no. I think it was also Taika Waititi. So Taika Waititi is the
Director.
same director who directed Thor Ragnarok, and I think the reason.
Well, I'm pretty sure every director has like one exact sub franchise.
No, but like he tried to make Thor Ragnarok similar to Thor Love and Thunder, and he failed in every way because.
Was it right? Thor Love and Thunder, like.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. He tried to make Thor Love and Thunder like Thor Ragnarok, and he succeeded the first time, but this time, first of all, I want to talk about Korg, because when Korg was shown in Thor Ragnarok, I was addicted to his character.
His character was really good.
I loved him because
Humor.
that is a character that you like to have in small. He is perfect in small doses. He's kind of like Drax, where you don't want to see too much. You wouldn't want to see a movie about Drax, but he is excellent comic relief. And this time they gave him way too much dialogue.
Way too big of a role.
Yeah, they gave him way too much TV time, and it kind of just messed with everything because it took time away from more important characters, and all the character motivation and everything that you would associate with good storytelling of a character was completely ignored. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, let's go back to the villain for a second.
Yeah,
The villain. Okay, you might like the villain, but I
wouldn't necessarily say I like him. There's nothing special about him.
Right.
But he actually brought a sincerity that I think the role needed. I think that his intentions, while obviously very generic,
Right, so moving on to last time,
was still made sense.
in the first episode that we talked about the villain, we talked about how it's important that they
And
need a
Marvel does
motive.
not- and Marvel does not do villains right.
Sometimes but
I can name exactly 4 good Marvel. Okay, off the top of my head, I can name 4 good Marvel villains.
Bucky when he was captured.
That's one.
Amazing villain.
Loki.
Dr. Zulu.
Who?
The guy who has like a computer, not in Civil War. It was in Captain America: Winter Soldier.
I'm talking about main villains.
He was a main villain.
A Winter Soldier? No.
Yeah.
Bucky was the main.
Yeah, but like he was still.
I mean, no, I would not consider him. It was Thanos, Loki, Hela, and him, and Bucky. I'm pretty sure there's
Killmonger.
Oh my god, yeah, Killmonger. And all of them are dead. So where do you go from here? You have to try and establish a new big boss, because if you're doing a solo movie, they're doing an Avengers movie in Phase 5, right? In Marvel Phase 5, they are. I'm pretty sure they are, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they just separated the whole thing.
No. So they're doing one Avengers movie in Marvel Phase 5. And I think you need to start, like, they had really established who Thanos was, but I don't see like a big boss of Avengers. Obviously, Phase 5 I think is going to be a super disappointment.
No. Okay, no, Nikhil. Okay, here's where he's wrong. Okay, and here's where my huge nerd side comes in. Okay, so first of all, we did not talk about Moon Knight either. Did Moon Knight come out after? Or?
I haven't watched Moon Knight, and Moon Knight came before Marvel first episode.
First episode.
I think that's because it was fine. It was kind of good.
No, okay. First of all, I think that Marvel has gone to start a very a more cinematic approach, as in like filming it film wise, like the backgrounds and everything, the music. They've paid way more attention to it. At least I can see that in the shows. Like in Moon Knight, they really did. Like the background, the scenes, all of it was amazing in Moon Knight. But now in the new ones, even in Thor Love and Thunder, I just didn't see it. I was pretty disappointed. Even though like Thor Love and Thunder was supposed to be something that bridged the phases together. Like they suck at that. Like, Marvel has just made so many paths where it leads to nothing. Right?
So in general, I think, okay, I'm gonna read out the list for the Phase 5, and this should just give you an idea of how insane Marvel
we still have one movie in Phase 4, which is our favorite sequel.
Oh my god, yeah. Deadpool 3.
No!
Black Panther?
Yeah, Black Panther.
I don't think it's going to be good.
You don't?
I don't think it's gonna be good without
It-
Chadwick Boseman.
I don't think it'll top the first one.
It definitely won't top
Yeah,
the first one.
but
I mean,
okay, fine.
they might do a good. I would love to see, even if it's bad. I want to see the tribute to Chadwick Boseman because he more than
They
deserves
did
it.
for sure. They did.
Yeah, no, they definitely did. I know that, but I think that in general, the plot of it, I don't think it's going to be very good, because as much as I like Shuri, Okoye, they're side characters, and Black Panther is the Chad.
Well.
And
Okoye came back.
No. I'm saying in general, I don't think any of them can create as compelling of a story as Chadwick. But that dude
Agreed.
oozed charisma.
Agreed. Yeah.
His scene where even the scene where they
I am not dead. That.
Yeah, no, I'm not that. That one's just cool as hell. But the scene where he yelled at his father because he was the hero,
right.
realizing that he was wrong. I think his delivery was so earnest, and I don't think anyone else could even come close to radiating that amount of sincerity in their speech. I think if you look at any other Marvel hero, Marvel does heroes very well, but none of them come off as I don't know, royalty. They don't come off as royal or as special in that regard as Black Panther. So
also another thing. While we're still talking about Black Panther. Also in Black Panther, they did the comedy plot ratio, even though they've talked more about plot for sure in that movie.
Yeah.
There's still some comedy. There's still some parts of the
there
comedy.
is. But
and it's done so well.
That's an extremely small dose. Like the did he freeze?
Yeah.
Extremely small doses and done right. Okay, I get it. With Thor and Love and Thunder, and obviously we keep talking about the comedy element of it, which
we shouldn't be talking about because
I understand.
It sucks.
No, but it completely overwhelmed the movie entirely. I think Taika Waititi in that regard, kind of, I think I don't know, man. I think whatever he was going for, he was just trying to. They did the scene again, like last time. They did the scene where Thor and Loki, the fake Thor and fake Loki with Matt Damon randomly just being there. They did the play, and in that he tried to recreate that, but it just didn't feel the same this time because it felt like the comedy was more important than the story.
Right.
Which is what ultimately doomed Thor: Love and Thunder.
And before we move on to talking about future and upcoming movies and ending it with She-Hulk, of course.
Yeah.
Thor: Love and Thunder, the way they ended it was also kind of bad. It was the power of love. I'm sorry.
Adi hates the ending. So
I have emphasized.
I'm going to let him take this one.
Yeah, the power of love. Okay, so you have to have watched the movie. Like you shouldn't, but I mean, if you have, you need to know this before.
If you have, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, and they ended with the power of love and how Thor and Jane are just hugging while he gets jealous. I don't know what happens to him.
Exactly what happens is that he gives his powers to the kids and stuff, right? And then they kill him.
No, okay, that's the ending. That's like the climax, sort of. That's like the ending fight scene.
A painful
yeah, so basically, somehow Thor just transfers. I'm talking about the ending.
Did they let him die so his daughter could come back to life? Or
something like that. Even though, fine, that might be some sort of,
that was fine. I think they did Christian Bale dirty.
But still, power of love after he killed gods?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that makes no sense to me. And I don't know what has happened, but Marvel is surely taking a Disney side to it. Even okay, I know we're going all over the place with shows and series and all that.
As we do usually.
Yeah. But Moon Knight also has this weird sense of comedy at the towards the ending, and it's so bad. I look at it and I don't want to watch it again. I haven't watched it again. I usually watch every Marvel show and movie again.
Oh yeah, this dude is weird as hell. He won't try anything new, I tell him.
I try a lot of new things.
He has not watched a single recommendation of mine. No, no. This is something I actually want to talk about here. Why won't he watch a single?
Another episode.
Why won't he watch a single recommendation of mine, Adi? Let's air it out right here.
Anyways, okay. so yeah.
That's what I thought.
Again, so we've been listing topics over here, and I have one topic just called "What Gods," and that makes so much sense to me right now. What gods? Which gods?
They didn't define that.
Yeah, who god? Okay, fine. Thor is
a Norse god, and then they randomly just included Zeus.
No, but that's okay. That's okay. Let them do whatever they want with the mythology.
But okay.
But the fact that he could just take his weapon, the thunderbolt, so easily, the lightning bolt, that easy? What are you talking about? He just come on, yeah, and. Yeah, that whole scene is just a wreck. Okay, fine. That also has comedy. Okay, that scene might be the best scene. And how Thor is stripped naked. Yeah, that scene was.
I didn't mind that part. That was those were the only 2 seconds I didn't mind of it.
He's insanely okay.
Chris Hemsworth is hot.
He is hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not even gay or bi with Chris Hemsworth. It's just a hunk.
also Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. If genuinely, if there's one male guy I had to do,
Same.
it would be Ryan Reynolds.
Same.
I want to hug him.
We might edit this out actually.
But definitely not editing this out. I want people to know.
Right. So again, what gods?
Yeah.
They should have emphasized more on that. Also, they just the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Breathe.
The Guardians of the Galaxy.
Alright.
They started with him and they just end like
How
fine.
about this? Explain what happened with the Guardians of the Galaxy in the movie.
Nothing. That's the whole point.
I see.
It starts with the scene with the Guardians of the Galaxy there, and Thor meditating.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they call him, and then Thor just does everything, and then Guardians of the Galaxy leave. They just leave.
Yeah.
And also he gets goats. Goats are the best part of it. I swear. The best part of the whole movie is that they have goats, and the goats are flying and they crash into a moon. That scene
if it
is
was
the best.
just Chris Hemsworth naked petting goats, I would like this movie. 1
Same.
hour 40 minutes of Chris Hemsworth just being naked and petting goats would be more entertaining
Same.
than what we got.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, alright, so basically...
Let's move on. It's been
No,
20 minutes
so
of
like,
this.
A synopsis on Love and Thunder. It was disappointing and the comedy killed it. For a
Power
much-
levels also sucked.
For a much more concise explanation, because we do this on the spot, we don't do this with any script. But there's this YouTuber called the Critical Drinker. He's really funny, and he explained his gripes with the movie, which are similar to most people's, but he does it in a pretty relatively funny way. So I would recommend that.
Okay, also another part of the movie that might actually be a good part of it is the end credit scene. The end credit scene where they introduce Hercules. That part is really cool.
That part is interesting.
But we still don't know what his powers are or what gods
See,
in
we
general
don't
mean.
We don't necessarily have to know that yet, because
But, like,
for
still-
end credit, it's fine.
No, I mean in the movie there was Zeus, and okay, we've seen Hela before,
Yeah.
and how OP Hela is,
Hela was
right?
cool.
Hela, even okay now Thor is also really OP, and they both are gods, right? Even Loki was OP. He's also a
I
god.
miss Loki. This
Same. I also miss
movie
Loki. Yeah, it needed Loki.
This movie missed Loki so.
Mhm.
Oh my god! Even Valkyrie. Oh, she was like an empty chamber
Yeah,
of charisma.
agreed. Yeah.
That lady.
Also, yeah. Also,
Black
Jane's
hole of charisma.
Jane's power. Okay,
Oh, I hate
one
Jane.
thing that we'll be talking about on both is how the main character and somehow the side character. So in Thor: Love and Thunder, Jane would be considered the side character, and in this case, how Jane is almost as OP as Thor.
Yeah.
And
Why
then
is
She-Hulk,
Jane
yeah.
with a disease and is completely weakened
Almost as OP as
and
Thor.
is, I'm sorry, but a lot weaker than Thor.
Mhm.
How is she the same strength as Thor? No, I'm screaming, so you don't want me next to
And
the mic.
also this is the same. We're gonna talk about this in She-Hulk as
How
well.
is she the same strength as Thor?
Same as She-Hulk. We're gonna talk about why we don't even understand why She-Hulk is
Female
even
empowerment.
even closely even a
No.
little bit
It's
as,
just annoying.
yeah
as hell.
as powerful as Hulk. Like it makes no sense.
Let's just move
Okay.
on. Before we start She-Hulk, I just want to read the list of Phase 5 movies. I am
It
not
starts with Quantumania, right?
particularly excited. Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I like.
I'm excited for Quantumania. Quantumania
I
should
think
be
they're
fun.
going to completely drop the ball with this.
I think that they might give like a sort of sequel to Endgame sort. So the thing of it like this, okay. I know that everything has
I
now
don't
been a
trust
sequel to
Marvel anymore.
Endgame. I think that on the bunch of baths that they've made now in the show, in the whole universe, I think that they need to bridge it somehow. And I think Quantumania might be a bridge to
That one
some
doesn't
of
make
them.
sense to bridge it. No, I'm just saying I think it's going to be disappointing. I think Black Panther. I sincerely.
really
if
want
there-
Black
if
Panther
there's
to be good.
If there's one movie I could hope to be good from this, it's Black Panther, because Chadwick Boseman, despite not being in the movie, he goddamn deserves a good Black Panther too.
Agreed.
Yeah. So and I hope they do it well in his memory.
Mhm, they
Guardians
should.
of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Again, okay. I have hopes. I still have hopes, even though Thor is not going to be there.
I'm not writing this one off. This could be good.
Yeah, no. It can be good. Like the others, it's usually also a comedy. Like Guardians of the Galaxy has always just been
Yeah.
them just freaking around in space.
Yeah, no, but I like Guardians. of the
Yeah,
Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy is always fun.
Yeah.
The next
Oh,
movie
the
is the Marvels.
Marvels.
Okay, I have some stuff to talk about. Even though
Oh,
Nikhil's
boy.
stupid, we don't talk to Nikhil. So Nikhil,
It is widely accepted that Miss Marvel is one of the most wank shows.
There are tons of people who hate on Miss Marvel, even Captain Marvel.
No one liked Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Oh, come on. It wasn't that bad.
No, Captain Marvel, the movie itself was fine because Nick Fury was in it
Mhm.
and the cat. But I think Captain Marvel as a character is just not interesting to me.
But it's gonna bridge so many parts of it together.
I don't care how much of it
Dude,
is gonna bridge. If the story itself is not funny, I do not care.
If it bridges parts together, a good Marvel fan, which is who Nikhil is not, will appreciate it. And I promise that
I am going to be so disappointed with this. I know I'm not even gonna bother watching it. It's gonna be bad.
it might be okay.
I'm calling this right now. We can come back when this movie is released. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be.
I'm just saying, Monica Rambeau's there. She's
I
cool.
don't care.
She was
July 28th.
Okay. So Nikhil stopped. So Nikhil technically, I'm just gonna say it because he couldn't say it himself. He stopped watching after Endgame. He hasn't watched
That's not
a movie. Which movie? Come on.
Thor: Love and Thunder I watched.
Yeah.
Which movie?
Which movie have you actually watched while watching the prerequisites to that movie?
Which movies have come out since after Endgame?
Spider-Man Far From Home.
I watched that.
No Way Home.
I thought it was a bit overrated, but I liked
Far
it.
From Home? No, Far From...
No Way Home. I thought it was a bit
Far
overrated.
From Home.
Thought it was a bit... No. Far From Home was before.
No,
Way
Far From Home was after Endgame, Nikhil.
Bet? You
Nikhil,
want
Nikhil.
to... You have a bad history of bets against me.
Nikhil.
You want to bet?
Dude, I have a bad history of bets.
You want to bet?
Nikhil, Far From Home?
Alright. Sorry, we're going to take a quick...
No, we're not taking a break. Dude, I can do this right now. Dude, Far From Home was
2019.
Endgame came out in 2018.
Endgame came out in 2019, Adi.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay,
Huh.
because you won't believe me.
Huh.
No. Nikhil, I am 100% positive. There is no way 2nd July and Endgame came out 26th April. So, I'm right.
No,
Nikhil!
no, you're not. Google's wrong.
2nd July.
Google's wrong.
2nd July.
Google is wrong. Okay, what?
Anyways,
Adi, we don't have time for this. What are
no,
you doing?
we can make an hour of this episode because we can somehow talk about Marvel so much, even though Nikhil
is going to suck. And
Nikhil,
Adi is the only person I
let
know
me
who
talk,
liked that show.
goddammit.
Adi is the only person I know who liked that show, and he's not going to listen. But it's ass.
Yeah, okay. Nikhil takes control like this. He's an idiot. We don't listen to Nikhil. So
Like when I take control.
shut up. Okay. Anyways. Okay. Right. So he hasn't watched a show. Or even a movie like he actually watched it with enthusiasm. Like after Endgame. Stop talking, Nikhil. Let me talk.
I watched Scarlet Witch.
Oh yeah, you watched.
I watched the Scarlet Witch show.
Scarlet
I
Witch
don't know
show.
what it's called. What is it
You
called?
remember Monica Rambeau?
Who is that?
Oh my god!
What is the Scarlet Witch show called?
Oh my god!
What is the Scarlet Witch show called?
What do you mean Scarlet Witch
I
show
forgot. The Scarlet Witch and Vision.
WandaVision.
That one. It was fine.
He didn't. So basically, in the end of
Oh,
WandaVision,
Agatha House of Harkness. That
we talked about in the first
is going to be
one.
so.
That's a movie.
It's gonna be a show.
Oh shit!
They're making a show
Oh,
about.
that's so okay. No,
They're gonna make a
I agree
show.
with Nikhil. It sucks. It's gonna be bad.
That's going to be awful.
Yeah, that's gonna be bad.
Then they're making a show called The Blade.
Wait. Okay, no. Let's go back chronological order. First of all, Monica Rambeau being there, she's basically the Kirby of Marvel. She can basically just understand powers and then replicate them, which is sick, honestly. And that opens up to a lot of potential with Miss Marvel being there as well as like a sort of like a It's like you know how in No Way Home they all the Spider-Mans came together and Peter is like the noob one.
Yeah.
Somehow, yeah. I think Miss Marvel played that role in the Marvels, and that should be fun.
What the hell is Echo?
Okay. Anyways, okay, no.
Oh,
Let me talk about this. Stop talking, man.
Oh no, sorry. I'm reading.
Yeah,
the,
he's so stupid.
reading what's coming out in Facebook.
Yeah. He needs to shut up.
Loki season 2.
Because he hasn't watched half of it.
Loki season 2.
He hasn't even watched half
I
of it.
watched Loki season 1. It was
Though you watched
the
Loki
6th
season one.
episode.
We already talked about
the
this.
6th episode. No one who.
We talked about
No
this
one
on the first
remembers
episode.
that.
We talked about it in the first episode.
Absolutely no one who's watching this remembers that.
Yeah, we're gonna assume they do. That's what we do in every. We're assuming that people are listening to this, right?
Our guy in Peru, if you
Our guy in Peru and Israel,
and Finland.
Or a girl, I don't know. We don't discriminate.
I want to assume it's like a shirtless Spanish dude grilling corn. That's a stereotype. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, you shouldn't say.
Yeah.
Right. Anyways.
She-Hulk.
Wait, no. We have to talk about it. You brought up this list. I'm gonna talk about
Because I hate it and now I'm sad.
Okay. So now the Marvels, it has a lot of potential. Is what I'm trying to say. And there is a lot of stuff. It has a lot of potential. Anyways.
Okay, Ali.
It has a lot of potential. Monica Rambeau being there, maybe Skrulls and I forgot.
See, even
Skrulls
you
versus-
don't care enough to remember.
This was from 2017. Give me a break.
Captain Marvel was absolutely not 2017.
Skrulls versus-
It was right. Captain Marvel was right after or before Infinity War. It was 2018.
2018 maybe.
Because I remember watching it right before Infinity War.
Yeah. It was.
Anyways.
It was after Infinity War.
Okay, fine, whatever. But it was 2018. Yeah. So
2019.
the Marvels, Blade, Ironheart. What is Ironheart?
What is
What is
2019?
Ironheart?
It was in 2019. It was a month before Endgame.
Oh, the hero will be introduced in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Oh no.
Well, that's sick actually.
No, it's a
But that means that it might just be they haven't given him backstory as much. It's
Agatha,
possible.
Coven of Chaos.
Oh wait, no. There's Blade 2. Blade's kind of interesting. Anyways, moving on. So, after that, there's Captain America: New World Order. I have no idea what that's gonna be, and Thunderbolts as well. We'll just another episode, another 50-minute long episode, which we'll do.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a bonus episode.
It was
20
supposed to be a
minutes.
bonus.
It has been going on for 30 minutes. It's a
Deadpool
3.
So we were supposed to stop here. We were supposed to stop here and talk about She-Hulk, but then we saw. Okay. Also, they mentioned that Deadpool 3 is nothing,
before.
Yeah,
Logan.
it's before
Yeah.
Logan. So
We're not touching that.
yeah. So
Woo!
also they don't want us to talk about it at all.
Bro, I'm so excited for Deadpool 3. and
Same.
I cannot wait. That's gonna be good.
Ooh, they can actually, but that's something that's like Loki.
Who's Kang?
Kang's the guy in Loki.
Oh my god, I
guy.
I hate him.
Oh, there is another Avengers movie coming.
Yeah, I hate him.
Okay. Now let's talk about She-Hulk, even though it might be worse.
Oh my god, I hate Kang so much.
Anyways, let's talk about She-Hulk. So, She-Hulk. The whole show has been a wreck. Okay, it's been a wreck. Nikhil has criticism. Everyone has criticism about that show. About how
I have criticism and I've only watched 3 clips.
Again, also, what do you call it? You can see behind the wall or some shit like that.
Sorry?
You know how they talk directly to the viewer.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Oh, breaking the fourth wall.
Fourth wall. Okay. Breaking the fourth wall. Yeah. So that's the type of show that She-Hulk is.
Yeah.
And
oh god, really?
no, I think those parts are okay, but they have also done the whole comedy thing, and they don't know how to split. They just don't know yet, and they need to change that. Honestly, no one's gonna listen to our opinion on it. We're on YouTube, too random. Anyways, so they might not listen.
Hosting a mess of a podcast.
Yeah, and Nikhil keeps interrupting me.
It's really funny, and I thought we were doing a bit.
Anyways, so
And then Adi hit me.
I did not hit you, you liar.
Adi, I swear it still stings. Go ahead.
Right. So, She-Hulk, I still think that the plot is not that bad. I just don't think that they've done a good job of representing it in a show. I'm not even gonna lie. Some parts of it were cringe. You want to talk about the parts that were cringe?
So I watched exactly 3 clips from She-Hulk. My chair
Not a good impression.
My chair is completely creaked. Yeah, no. So I think what they focused on, and again the critical drinker, I watched this episode, and a lot of my thoughts were formulated based on that.
He usually does that for everything
Oh
he
my
ever
god!
watches.
Most of the time I watched the show, I
Go
just
on.
couldn't put myself through She-Hulk.
Go on.
Yeah. So I think it was just a big preach of the message, like women empowerment. I think there was just like one rant where she just went off about how difficult it is to be a woman, and Hulk was just nodding the entire time. That happened, right?
No.
That did happen. I've seen
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it happened. And
He exaggerates
oh
it.
my god, no, that's literally exactly what happened. She started talking about how difficult it was to be a woman, and he started nodding politely.
That's only the first episode, like the first episode.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
The first episode was an introduction.
A relentless just preaching of the message.
But also it does sort of connect stuff, like in Shang-Chi, you know that fight scene where Wong is just fighting I forgot his name. God damn it.
We're so prepared for this.
No. I just have a bad time.
No. What I'm saying
Abomination. You know Abomination?
is the one that the Hulk beat in the worst Hulk movie.
Yeah. So Abomination's back. He's in jail, and She-Hulk represents him.
Hulk killed him.
No. He's alive and he's in jail. Anyways, so you know how in Shang-Chi, have you watched Shang-Chi? Yeah, so in Shang-Chi, what happens is that Wong is fighting the Abomination, and they connected back to how Shang-Chi is related to She-Hulk, and Wong is there, and that's cool. I like that part. And, yeah, and there's just one cringe part. I want you to talk about specifically that cringe part.
Oh god, what?
The Megan Thee Stallion one.
Oh my god, them twerking. Oh my god.
That's it. We don't need to talk about that anymore.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
other than that,
I'm in Spain, but without the S.
anyways, some episodes are they're like cameos a little bit, and I don't like that format. Of course, I really want She-Hulk to have her own like sort of glory over there, but she really can't do that.
You don't think she has enough glory with all the stuff they parade about her being better
Yeah,
than
but
Hulk?
no, but like she's constantly being made fun of.
Okay, look, I'm sure this is a different episode that has to be a lot more politically correct than this one. But when there's just a relentless preaching of the message, that gets
First of all, it's not wrong.
no, it's fine.
It's just
It's-
it
no,
messes
no,
with the
no,
plot
no.
way too much.
I think first of all, it is wrong at a certain point, because at some point it's just preaching something you keep preaching again and again, and fine. It historically fine. I get that you have to say stuff like that once in a while. to
Again-
get that message across.
Again, so in the recent episodes, this is not a huge thing. Nikhil has only watched the first. He doesn't even watch. He just knows about the first two episodes.
No.
But he's not wrong. What I'm trying to say is that in the
Yeah.
recent episodes, there is nothing like that. Even though the last episode literally shames as a whore, but yeah, the end of the Daredevil episode. Oh, they introduced Daredevil. Okay, and
That's cool.
Daredevil is
I
a
like Daredevil.
huge part. He's amazing, and
I like Daredevil.
and okay, fine, they do some stuff together. But other than that, Daredevil's character being there, I appreciate it. I think it was a good addition. And from No Way Home to this,
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. And
I like him like zipping around and being in every story. I like him because I like Daredevil.
yeah,
He's cool.
Daredevil.
No. See, the point I'm trying to make is when the preaching of the message gets in the way of storytelling and is just a relentless force down your throat.
Not just in a way, too much.
I think there comes a point where you just have to stop and say, okay, this is actually negatively affecting whatever you're trying
Absolutely.
to preach. Because at some point, it's like people are going to remember that and be like, okay, this is a specific part of the show I did not like, which means they're going to turn their nose against it even
Right.
more. So you're basically, it's extremely counterintuitive
Counterintuitive.
when you keep pushing it down your consumer's throat. And look, I get it at certain points. I get that historically you have to try and put that message
Mhm.
across. But when it becomes that damn over excessive to the point where you can't say anything without if somebody being on your ass for every little thing, it becomes an oversaturation of, okay, why even bother sharing my opinions about this show? Because if you call whoever directed this, or you call out someone who liked it because of the women empowerment of it all,
It makes no sense. You're not a true Marvel
exactly,
fan, honestly.
Exactly. If people are just liking it for that, then that's just messed up. And I get that you have to do that a little bit,
You
but
said that thrice.
I know, but I have to keep saying it, or so I'm going to get cancelled too. But at some point, it just
It becomes too much.
when people tell you, okay, I like this show because of women empowerment, so you cannot dislike this show, or
Mhm.
you're against women.
Yeah, they have
Which
that's
is
pretty
an
bullshit,
opinion I've actually heard and I've actually seen on Twitter, and I hated it.
Why did you trust at Twitter?
No, I'm
Twitter
on
just-
Twitter mostly for the cool wrestling videos and
And
cool
okay,
wrestling stuff.
stop talking.
Yeah.
So,
He doesn't
She-Hulk,
like when I bring up
basically,
wrestling.
keeping up wrestling way too much.
Yeah, I do.
Anyways, basically, if you've noticed, this is all something that I have come to find out that this is all happening because of Disney. The fact that Disney is somehow controlling all of this. Like, think about it. Disney movies are made this way, but you can't control Marvel
Wait,
the way Disney
How-
movies
what,
are.
What do you mean Disney is controlling all this?
Okay, so you know, like the Disney
No,
way of making
factually,
movies,
do you know
right?
that, or
Dude, you know Marvel is a
Is
part
all-
of Disney,
I
right?
understand that, but
So you realize how a
do
Disney
you
is.
do you
Disney.
know that Disney executives are controlling the product?
You do know that when you enter a company, you have to follow its policies and all that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because Marvel wasn't.
yeah,
doing it
so
before
so
that.
so
Yeah,
so
fine.
You can see the clear difference, right?
I won't completely agree with you because I'm not exactly sure.
We're not
Disney
sure about this,
execs,
but this is just a theory again. This is just a theory that I am trying to
but
think
it
of.
is possible.
It,
Very
it, it is
possible.
it is hugely possible, and I think that it's very obvious as well.
Yeah.
And I think that we should talk about that as well, right? Yeah, and Disney basically they're just doing the same thing of trying to put comedy, and they're not doing a good part of showing it in the story and all of
Basically, I
that.
think the reason Marvel has dipped so much is because they started sacrificing the story for
Yeah,
other stuff
yeah.
they're trying to preach over
Yeah.
it, or the stuff they're trying to make it funny.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not necessarily about making it PG. I don't know if that's the case.
Power of love. Sorry.
Yeah. Adi really disliked the ending of Thor: Love and Thunder. In general, I think talking about where Marvel has come from its glory days, I think first of all, I don't think any Marvel show has been necessarily spectacular. I think maybe you could make a little argument for Falcon and the Winter Soldier being
Falcon and the
good.
Winter Soldier was good.
It was good.
Okay, no. He's kind of wrong. There are some good ones. Okay,
No,
and also
are there
this
any
comes down
ones-
to opinion, and
Right.
I think again this is just me, but Miss Marvel, I think it was okay.
Oh,
Nick, he'll stop. You haven't even watched it,
I
man.
know, but I've seen.
Anyway, so another huge thing
Yeah.
is just how the characters, their powers make no sense anymore. This is becoming a DC thing almost, where their power corrupts sort of. I don't understand. It's weird how. Okay, so we talked about this in Thor: Love and Thunder. How Jane is almost as powerful as Thor. In She-Hulk, how is She-Hulk any close to as powerful as the normal Hulk?
Yeah.
How?
In terms of experience in combat, in terms of him having at least 100 pounds on her.
Yeah, and she should like have the learning process, and more than just one episode of it.
So the learning exactly. So I think her having the strong girl power moment was more important than the entire.
This was just the first episode. I would like to
No.
remind you that.
I'm saying it should have. If this is a new character establishing, you can't make her OP from the beginning. You have to put her through some kind of struggle
Yeah.
that she actually maybe goes through and maybe even loses.
And again, there are good girl heroes and villains as well.
Yeah.
Hela is the best
No,
example.
because they're actually layered
Yeah.
more than just girl power. I think with every single good villain and every single good hero, there's always depth to them. Iron Man has depth. Captain America seems basic on the outside, but in the later movies,
He has so much depth.
In the later movies, he did show a
even
lot of depth.
Nat.
Black Widow is an excellent example because she's not just a girl power character.
And she's a human, but she is so
She-
powerful.
She's extremely badass, and I love everyone loves Black Widow because not
They
just
didn't do
because-
justice for the movie.
Oh my
that was a
God,
disappointment.
That movie, that's later. No, so Black Widow, everyone loves Black Widow because despite being badass, she had her weaknesses, and she wasn't just entirely about. Okay, I'm a woman. I'm strong. I'm perfect. It wasn't just that which made her an actually compelling character.
Even I think a good example of this would be Miss Marvel. In terms of girl power,
You know what?
they didn't
About that,
emphasize
I'm not
much.
going to comment because I haven't.
Yeah,
watched
we
it.
watched it. Yeah. Even in Loki,
No, don't you dare.
but she was OP
No.
and she was cool.
She was cool, but the last episode completely killed Loki.
No, but like that's just they killed the series.
Okay,
the character.
I didn't really want to go to DC. I don't.
Well, we're not gonna talk about DC.
No,
I know Nikhil has a lot to talk
we're
about.
not going to talk about DC.
And,
I promise.
and it's probably just gonna be me switching sides with him in this sort of case where I'm trying to defend Marvel and talk about its merits and all that, even though I have some sort of hate for it.
I won't touch on
probably
DC
switch.
here, but there are plenty of examples of
in DC itself.
well done women, and
Women.
not just in DC, in movies, in TV shows in general,
Mm-hmm.
where they actually have weaknesses, just like every human does, which makes them way more compelling.
Wait a second. I don't want you to have the notion that She-Hulk doesn't have her weaknesses.
No. Then I'm not necessarily saying that She-Hulk doesn't have any weaknesses, but you said that she literally just became as strong as Hulk within 2 episodes.
I think that She-Hulk focuses way more on the other aspect of just being, strong. Like Hulk Hulk had that thing where he was really OP and really strong.
Yeah.
But in She-Hulk, they don't really focus on the power that she has. More of a social problem because she's also a lawyer. And like living that double life sort of thing,
Yeah.
that is what She-Hulk also emphasizes on. Not done well. I'm not gonna say that it was done good, but
Okay.
again, it was. They focused more on the social issues, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, but yeah, he still makes sense. There's a lot of girl power sort of it to it without depth at all.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, you gave me a perfect example of how I can compare it, because Hulk himself, originally, if you look back to Avengers, the initial Avengers, Hulk was this guy who everyone was scared of because they thought he was a lunatic, a guy who basically seemed like the live wire, who had that weakness. He showed vulnerability in Age of Ultron with Black Widow, and he showed that he was kind of just like a chill, normal, loser, nerd scientist dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, great connection to how they connected to the Thor Ragnarok, where he was
Yeah,
showed up again.
him and Thor Ragnarok.
We need more of that now.
Him and Thor Ragnarok, he seemed so like separating Hulk from Banner actually seemed possible, but with whatever She-Hulk, I'm asking you here, did she seem like you could disconnect the actual superhero or the superhero in from the person?
I think that's what the show focuses on.
But do you think they did it correctly? Do you think they did it justice?
Okay. Yeah, so one thing that the show does do, it focuses on how. Okay, so I would really want Nikhil to watch the show again.
I probably should.
Yeah, because this sort of thing is what the show actually mainly focuses on. Like more of the girl power thing. That's only the first episode. From the second episode onwards, they show how She-Hulk and Jen, that's her name, are different people, and how she wants to live as Jen, but people only look at her as She-Hulk.
But can you separate the hero from the villain? Not in the
That's what they want to
hero
do.
from the,
I'm not gonna say they were successful, but that's what they really
that's what
wanted.
they want to, exactly. But the reason other characters work.
But to be
so
fair, you
well,
can't do that with Bruce either. Honestly, I'm just gonna be honest.
Of course you can, Bruce.
In Age of Ultron, a little bit.
Not whatever the hell Bruce is now, but in first two Avengers, in Ragnarok, you could see a vulnerable side to
Right.
In with Iron Man, you could.
But I still feel that you always felt connected to the idea that Bruce was the Hulk.
Sure, because he was all no. I'm just saying, but you
honestly I don't mind that.
You could in Iron Man you could disconnect the egomaniac that was Tony Stark from Iron Man in literally every other compelling hero. You could disconnect themselves as a person from
Absolutely.
their duty as a hero.
That makes sense.
And you could do it well they both had separate characters.
That's a sort of I think shows are focusing on that more now. So for example, in Moon Knight, they try to show him as a normal person.
No,
they have to make the show well. That's a different point altogether.
Yeah.
Right. But and that's basically it. And that's what we're just trying to say. Like, we've discussed all the points. I'm not gonna wrap it up. I'm not gonna say all the points again in like a short paragraph or anything like that, because you should really listen to the whole thing if you actually want our point. But we have explained basically what's wrong with Marvel currently.
Yeah.
And even though we might not be experts on it, we surely aren't. But
we're just nerds.
But it's, again, we're the average consumer, right? We're just normal teenage kids who are watching Marvel. I'm going to assume that their age demographic is this the most.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, the major population of
the youth.
Yeah.
Would be yeah.
And so if we're the average consumer, they're not doing well, honestly. And I might be biased to Miss Marvel because it's sort of Indian, actually, like, even though it's Pakistani, of course.
Sure.
But it has that sort of.
No, don't say that. But no, I get
it has that sort of, that's something we can relate to. But that's just me, again, and again, a very small population of what Marvel, again, which is just India itself. But in total, they're not doing a good job, honestly, and I think they could do better.
I think one thing you said very well was one point that was very interesting that you just said was, we just basically talked about what's wrong with Marvel with these two movies one movie, one show. You can see the various aspects of what's going wrong, where they're sacrificing stories in two different ways. One story is what Marvel does best. And
it should be doing best, at least.
They used to do best. And
Absolutely.
if they continue down this path, even though some of the movies, apart from Deadpool 3, which I know is going to be good, in Phase 5, is just going to, the interest is going to keep going down. And I understand every company, every brand has to have its waning period, because I think it peaked and it will never go back to the hype it had in Avengers and Infinity War.
Absolutely, but
But
Phase 4 might be
Exact-
promising.
Phase 5.
Phase 5.
Completely killing off the product by sacrificing storytelling is something I feel like Marvel might be doing, and if they do, then we're gonna have an issue, guys.
And also, let's really hope that Phase 5 isn't filled with as many shows. I prefer the movie
Oh
format.
my god, Marvel cannot do shows right. They really can't.
I'm okay. Nikhil's wrong. There are some shows that I think
No,
have done well.
The ratio of good shows to bad shows is
But
kind of
honestly, I think that we're being a little picky on like stuff like that because these shows are winning awards, man.
Who are okay? Adi, any show that's moderately good can win an award. Okay.
No, but like they won a major award. Moon Knight won awards, right? Yeah, Moon Knight won an
Pretty sure you think
award.
of the movie that beat La La Land.
Okay, never mind. Moon Knight did not win any important
Yeah,
award.
I'm talking.
But I think they did.
No, you're
Oh,
talking.
was
about,
a What If?
You're talking about Moonlight, which was the.
Shut up.
Which was the thing at the Oscars that La La Land was announced, but they were wrong and actually Moonlight.
What If?
No,
But that was
that
for sure
Chadwick
good.
Boseman won for his voice. Or his voice acting, you dumbass. The show itself didn't win anything.
Don't call me a dumbass. You haven't even watched the shows. Anyways, moving moving on. That's basically it.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next time.
We're disappointed.